PRC and Vice Chancellors of Federal Universities of Agriculture and Directors, CEOs of research institutes, and Provosts of Colleges of Agriculture and Cooperatives to the annual budget defense proposal of the parastatals under the House Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Research Institutions. I would also like to welcome other key staff of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, universities, institutions, and colleges. Records available to us has indicated that budget releases in 2021 and 2022 have been very impressive, and most of you have satisfactorily utilized the funds allocated and released by government. I congratulate all of you for this achievement despite some challenges. The committee is ever ready to assist you to surmount any challenge that may arise in the implementation of the budget. We have intervened to solve problems associated with budget implementation in some agencies during our oversight visit to the agencies some weeks ago. The committee was generally impressed with the performance of the budget and has drawn the attention of the CEO where some inadequacies and flaws associated with procurement were observed. Honorable Minister, the committee met with the officials of the ministry during budget preparation to set priority areas in order to ensure effective resource utilization in the 2022 budget. The priorities have actually worked as we have improvement in critical research infrastructures as allocations were more on research, teaching and learning. The former arrangements where many research institutes had less than 10% of their capital projects allocated to research were reversed. The committee observed the production of large quantities of early generation seeds of improved crop varieties, livestock species, and fish fingerlings, which were procured by the ministry and the seed companies for production of certified seed. For the agricultural colleges and universities, the committee observed improvement on procurement of teaching, learning, and research infrastructures, such as provision of classrooms, laboratories, offices for staff, studios, workshop equipment, modern agricultural tools, processing and storage equipment, etc. Honorable Minister, the attention of the committee was drawn to the protracted strike action by the three unions of the research institute, namely Academic Staff Union of Research Institute, ASURI, Senior Staff Association, SSA, and Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, which started since October 2021. It means the staff have been on strike for 13 months, and nobody has reported to the committee. The committee is curious to know how the affected agencies have been able to implement the budget alongside the strike. It is quite unfortunate that while the government is struggling to fully fund the budget, including payment of salaries and allowances, staff are not appreciating the good gesture of the government. I would like to appeal to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development to urgently engage the unions relevant authorities to address their grievances and achieve industrial harmony as a research institute. The task of feeding Nigerians is heavy responsibility that largely depends on research outcome. Strike by unions will certainly negatively affect research planning, implementation, and outcome. The food security situation in Nigeria is compounded by the climate-induced situations such as flood, drought, extreme temperatures, pests, diseases, etc., that affect agricultural production and productivity. Research, which is supposed to be in the forefront of the climate adaptations and mitigation, must not be allowed to suffer. We must jointly work hard to achieve the sustainable development goal of access to affordable food by all Nigerians. The Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the committee observed that the budget allocations to agencies in the 2023 envelope are very low and is not expected to produce good research and teaching outcome from the institutes, colleges, and universities. The proposal indicated that out of 136 billion 685 695 821 capital appropriation envelope of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, only 11 billion 852 220 180, which is just 8.7% of the total budget. I believe the allocation is not based on priority of government that emphasizes on knowledge generation to boost the economy. This scenario is unhealthy and will not facilitate the development of agriculture in Nigeria. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development should ensure equitable allocation of budget to all agencies as they are part and parcel of the ministry. The committee advised in the interest of Nigeria that such arbitrary allocation should be discontinued. Honorable Minister, honorable members, directors, CEOs, provosts, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as a farmer, I cannot conclude this address without mentioning the high cost of inputs for agricultural production. The cost of fertilizer, agrochemicals, animal feeds, and drugs have skyrocketed beyond the reach of most farmers in the last growing season. The high cost, together with flood, is likely to significantly affect the agricultural production in Nigeria. We must adequately fund research and extension to stimulate growth in agriculture, to find viable alternatives to the overdependence on fertilizer and agrochemicals for agricultural production. It is only research that scientists can find ways to improve fertilizer use efficiency, reduce agrochemical use, and optimize their utilization for greater productivity. In conclusion, Honorable Minister, honorable colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my committee and the National Assembly will work with the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to ensure quality food is available on the table of every Nigerian at affordable price. We will ensure that the agencies under our purview perform their responsibilities to the letter of their mandate. We shall ensure all agricultural potentials exploited to achieve food nutrition security for the country. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Honorable colleagues, honorable minister, thank you very much for listening. I want to once again, on behalf of my colleagues, to thank the honorable minister. One of our concerns even before coming today was how to mitigate even the effect of flooding and other losses in the agricultural sector this year. So fortunately, I think yesterday we saw the minister after the PEC meeting mentioning that intervention will come for the dry season. It was on air yesterday. So that was part of the worry and the commitment the committee had wanted to interact with you, because we need to stimulate something for the country in the next few months to come, because a lot of losses have gone down the drain, Honorable Minister, in terms of the flooding, in terms of input costs. And we are sure the ministry can do something, or the federal government. Thank you. I will now ask the minister to respond, then we'll go into executive session with the ministry, and then only the head of the agency.
Honorable members of this committee for inviting us on the issue of agriculture and the ministry. And you know, I'm sure, agric is the basis, the foundation really for any country to develop and move forward. And it's no wonder Mr. President, with the support of the National Assembly, also made that his driving force to diversify our economy from being a mono economy to agriculture based and other sectors of the economy. It's always my pleasure and our pleasure to respond to you because we are partners in progress. We can't do our job without your support. Our budget, yes, is low, especially for the Research Institute, but that is something, Mr. Chairman, perhaps in the executive session, will enumerate some of the issues that are facing Research Institute. And you know, Mr. Chairman, as a farmer yourself, research, development, innovation is really the order of the day. The world has gone totally digital, and you can't do without research, without development. So the Institute really need all the support and funding. I know funding is an issue because every ministry is asking for more and more. But there are times when you look at certain ministries that really need to be funded, and agric is one. Food security is everything else is other security. Without food, we have issues. And that is why, as you mentioned yesterday, we are talking about going into intensive dry season farming beginning next month to make sure that there is continuous production of food, that there will be food in the land. Yes, there is a slight elevation in commodities. That unfortunately currently is a world phenomenon, but we are doing everything on our own to see what we can do to bring down the prices. And one of them is to increase the amount of food. Simple economics, demand and supply. The more you have, the less the prices. So that is what we intend to do in collaboration with other agencies, with the private sector, international organization, and of course, the National Assembly, our committees in particular. So with this, Mr. Chairman, let me once again thank you very much. I'm sure you will have an earful from the Institute themselves as you discuss with them this afternoon. Thank you, distinguished Mr. Chairman and honorable members.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I will now request...
Mai girma minista Radio Najeriya Kaduna ne da Liberty Hausa. Za mu so mu ji karin haske kan shirin da gwamnatin nan take yi kan inganta noman rani.
To alhamdulillah, wato kowa yana maganan yanzu wannan ambaliyar ruwa da aka samu a tabbas ya jawo matsaloli a wurare da dama, musamman kuma ta fannin noma. Akwai wurare da dama da aka rasa amfanin gona da aka shuka saboda ambaliyan ruwan. To ya zama wajibi mu inganta abin da za mu yi a kan noman rani, kuma dalilin yin haka shine mu tabbatar da cewa an samu abinci cikakke daga wannan noman damuna ɗin har zuwa na rani. Babban matsalan da ake fuskanta shine mutane suna tunani kila za a yi karancin abinci a wannan shekaran da za a shiga sabuwar shekara saboda wannan da ya faru. Tabbas kamar yadda na ce ɗin waɗansu wurare an samu mishkila. Shi yasa din za mu karfafa noman rani da mu da dukkan sauran waɗanda suke shiga cikin irin wannan harka, har ma manoma masu zaman kansu. Amma za mu yunkurin tallafa ma manoma ne na ƙasa waɗanda za mu ba su tallafi daban-daban. Kuma akwai waɗanda kila suna da insurance wanda yake wannan ruwan da ya ambaliya ya lalata musu amfanin gona, za su samu kuma biya daga ɓangaren gwamnati, domin muna da ɓangaren gwamnati da ke da wannan insurance ɗin. Saboda haka muna ƙoƙari mu tabbatar da cewa ba a yi ƙarancin abinci ba, kuma Allah da ba za a yi ba.
English, sir. What major?
Indeed, we have had a very serious flood. I mean, still almost I can say ongoing, in the sense that some areas are still underwater. We have started the assessment to see how much damage, how much crops have been lost. Of course, we know even we lost a lot of lives. So, but in terms of farming, what do we do to make sure production does not stop, or to make sure there is no food shortage? We are embarking on an intensive dry season farming. The ministry is already in preparation, and we hope to start that by next month, November. And this is in collaboration with other agencies of government that are part of this, including the Central Bank of Nigeria also is into dry season farming. We have planned to assist the farmers with implement, with inputs, and so many other things that would seeds, early maturing seeds that will make sure it does not take too long for the process. In fact, what we want to do is, if possible, to even cultivate certain crops twice during the rainy season with the use of, during the dry season. We also intend to use some of this flood water to harvest it for the dry season farming.
Thank you very much, sir.